you guys, welcome back to See Mindy Mom. I am sitting outside of Aldi and I'm going to do another combined grocery haul and what's for dinner video this week. I'm going to show you what I am feeding my family on a budget, so if you want to see that, stay tuned. Okay, you guys, last week I filmed a video that was a combination of a grocery haul and meal plan, and I told you guys that I am trying for the month of October to do some budget grocery hauls. Now, what that looks like for us is that I need to buy anywhere from 80 to 90% of what we're eating in a week because I do not keep a huge stockpile of food. I don't have a bunch of, pasta stocked in my pantry. I don't have a bunch of meat in my freezer. In fact, we're completely out pretty much of fresh produce and meat. So those are two things that I need to purchase along with lunch items. But I do have a few things on hand, and that is one way that you can kind of start to cut back on your grocery budget is if you will go and look in your pantry, fridge, and freezer and see what you have. I know that I have thought sometimes, man, we just don't have anything. I'm going to have to buy everything that we need and want to eat for the week. And then I'll go and look in the pantry and find that there are 2 boxes of pancake mix, and remember that I have 12.5 eggs in the fridge and that breakfast for dinner is probably a good idea. True story, that happened, and that's actually one of the things that's on the menu for this week. And then of course the next place to look is in your store sale flyer. For instance, I know that Aldi has on sale chicken breast this week, so I'm doing a few recipes with that, and I looked at their sale flyer to see the produce that they have. I noticed that spaghetti squash is one of the things that they have on sale, which I really like, so I'm probably going to do spaghetti for me and the kids. I'm going to go in and get my groceries, and then I'll show you what I got, and then I'll show you some of the meals that I am making for the week for me and my family of 5. Stay tuned. Okay, you guys, I am leaving Aldi, and I was just slightly over budget, and I'll confess, I'll tell you guys why. It's because I saw these and I had to have them. I had to try them. I walked past them the first time. They were $5.89 for 18 K-cups, which is not a bad price, and it's caramel apple flavored coffee, and I had to try it. And with Aldi, stuff comes and goes really quickly, especially seasonal items, and I was afraid these may not be there the next time I go, so I did splurge on them. And I will tell you that I could have put some things back. I got a couple of special requests from my kids. They made some requests. I'll show them to you in the grocery haul. So there were a few things that were like non-essentials, but I kept the meal plan really simple this week, and so I had some wiggle room in the budget, so I did get them a couple of things that they asked me for. But let me get home and get everything unloaded, and I'll show you what I got. But come on, guys, give me a break. Caramel apple coffee. Cut me some slack. I had to try it, okay? Okay, you guys, it doesn't look like much, but combined with what we already have on hand, the few things we have on hand, it's going to get us through the week, I think. So starting with the produce, I got some celery. My kids like to snack on this now with peanut butter, so that's good. Some spaghetti squash, some baby carrots, a bag of onions, some grapes. They were on sale for 79 cents a pound. And yes, I did buy 3 bags of Honeycrisp apples, 2 pounds apiece. So they were $1.99 for a 2-pound bag, which is cheap, which is as cheap as I've seen any apples, let alone Honeycrisp, go. And I like that the ones in the bag are smaller. They're the right size for my kids and for me. A big jar of unsweetened applesauce, and then 2 packages of this squeezable applesauce. When I got to looking at this flavored kind compared to the unsweetened kind, I was kind of surprised to find that they really both don't have very much of any added sugar. I think the sugars that are occurring are mostly natural sugars. Yeah, see, because this says the sugars is 13 grams for half a cup, and these are about half a cup servings, and it's 15 grams, so it's not that much more for these. A big package of spaghetti noodles. Pasta is so cheap there. It's $1.39 for this, but this is a 2-pound box. So this is twice as big as what I would get in a normal grocery store. I got these shells and cheese for my younger daughter. She loves these, asks for them every time I go, and I hardly ever buy it because the name brand is a little expensive, but there it's only $1.39. 2 different kinds of rice for 2 different recipes that I'm making this week. 2 packages of ranch mix, a big bag of pinto beans. I think it was only $1.59 or $1.39 maybe for this whole 2-pound package. And yes, I'm going to cook these in my crock pot, and I'm using them in recipes that I'm making this week, and I'll even have some left over for the freezer. I needed to refill snack bins in the pantry, so I got some of these white cheddar cheese crackers and some veggie straws. We haven't tried these from there before, but I've heard they're pretty good. These are for me, and they were an impulse buy, I admit, but again, another seasonal thing. I have had these before and loved them. the peanut puffs. They're kind of like the Bamba Puffs or Bamba Puffs or whatever from Trader Joe's, but I have not seen these since last year, so I picked up a bag. They're $1.99. I will probably hide these from the kids, just letting you know. We were out of bread, so I got another loaf. 2 things of chicken broth, some queso. We're doing some Mexican-themed dinners this week, so I thought we'd need that, along with 2 cans of Rotel. My son requested pickles. I hate pickles, but he likes them, so I got them for him, and they're not a bad stack for him. Some deli meat. It's only $3.99 at Aldi for a big 2-pound container of it, and we were completely out of lunch meat. Some cream cheese, some cottage cheese, some block cheese. Yay, cheese. And some yogurt tubes. We're almost out. And then I got a package of ground beef. It's about a 2-pound package, a little bit more. They only sell it in 2-pound packages. So I'm doing 2 different meals with this package of meat. And then, like I said, the chicken breast was on sale. So it was only $7.15 for this big package, which is almost 4 pounds of chicken breast. And I will be using this for 2 different dinners. I'm actually doubling one of those. So it's actually going to stretch for what would be 3 meals, but I'm doubling it because we have some guests coming over. But that is my grocery haul, and this was about $70 before tax, and then with my coffee purchase, which I told you guys about, it sitting over there by the coffee maker, it was about $75. I think it was $82 with tax. First night of meals for this grocery haul, and already I'm having to improvise a little bit. I can't believe I was at the store today knowing I was going to make spaghetti tonight and did not pick up spaghetti sauce mix, a packet of spaghetti sauce mix. Luckily, you can make spaghetti sauce seasoning mostly from stuff that you would probably have on hand in your spice cabinet or your spice rack. So I just threw some spices together along with some cornstarch, and that will be what I use to season my sauce. And then I realized that I only have one tiny little can of tomato sauce in my pantry, but lucky for me, remember that I bought these diced tomatoes last week in my grocery haul. I still had 1 can left, so I tossed it into my Ninja blender, and voila, tomato sauce. So I'm gonna get my sauce going here with my homemade seasoning and my last minute homemade tomato sauce. I've already browned my hamburger, and I've set aside half of it for the recipe I'm gonna make later this week, because remember that was a 2-pound package of ground beef. Spaghetti pasta is cooking on the stove for the kids, but I'm making spaghetti squash for myself. So how I do that is I will try to take a knife and pierce, just kind of pierce the spaghetti squash. I won't make it all the way through. I just kind of try to put a few scratches on the surface of it. And then I will put it in the microwave to soften it for probably anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, depending on the size of the squash. This one's pretty small that I have because it's just for me. So I put it in for 4 minutes, and then I will use my knife to slice it in half. This is very difficult to do, so be careful, please. I'll slice it in half, take the seeds out, and then put it upside down on a cookie sheet, and I will roast it for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. And then I can take it out and shred it up, and I like to go ahead and put the sauce inside of the squash half after I shred it, and then I sprinkle a little cheese on top of it and put it under the broiler for a minute or so to melt that cheese, and that's how I eat my spaghetti squash. The kids, of course, will just have regular spaghetti, and I'll probably throw some fruit or vegetables or something on their plate. But that's what I'm doing tonight, and that's how I am winging it and improvising, even though I was just at the store today and forgot a couple of things. I had my Crockpot going big time on this day, you guys. I tried a new recipe. It's a copycat version of my favorite soup from Panera. It's the creamy chicken and wild rice soup. And I started by just chopping some carrots, celery, and onion. And then I threw that into my Crockpot along with 2 large chicken breasts. I topped it with a little bit of minced garlic. And then the seasonings I used were just a little bit of oregano, a couple of bay leaves, and then the seasoning packet from this wild rice mix that I got from Aldi. I poured in an entire 32-ounce carton of chicken broth. I used the low sodium kind, and then I cooked that on low all day in the crock pot. And when it was finished, I took the chicken out and shredded it and returned it. And at this point is when I added the rice, along with a cup of half and half and a 1/4 cup of flour. And then I mixed that up and I put it in at the same time that I added the rice. This recipe called for 2 cups of milk and 2 cups of water, and I thought that would just be a little too much liquid, so I just added the half and half instead. But I did have to add just a little bit of milk at the end to thin it out. This was pretty good. I'll leave the link to the recipe in the description box, but I did make adjustments to this, like I said, mainly to the amount of liquid that it called for. So just keep that in mind. I also made some pinto beans in the crock pot. And when I make these in the crock pot, you guys, I don't soak them. I just rinse them and make sure there's no dirt or pebbles or anything in there. And then I put them in my crock pot. And this time I just seasoned it with a little bit of minced garlic. I threw in half an onion, some chili powder, and I made it easy on myself and just threw in a packet of ranch dressing mix. This is one of the areas where you can kind of season it to whatever your taste is. That's just what I decided to do for today. And then I poured in about 10 cups of water, and this is 2 pounds of beans. So I put in 10 cups of water, and I let it cook on low all day for about 10 hours. And I just kind of kept checking on it to make sure there was enough moisture. When they were finished, they came out great. I removed the onion and just threw it away. And I had this big pot of seasoned pinto beans that I could use for some of my recipes this week. I set some aside for the soup and the casserole that I'm making this week, and then the rest of them I put into small containers to keep in the freezer for a short amount of time so I can use them in later recipes. And these were so good, you guys. On Saturday, we woke up to a brisk 35-degree day, so it was a great day for some more crock pot soups. And I just made a tried and true cream cheese chicken chili. I have made this so many times on my channel, you guys. You've seen it in my What I Eat in a Days and What's for Dinners. I will just leave it in the description box below, the recipe that I used. And this is one of those, just dump it in the crock pot and let it cook all day. And then I just take the chicken out and shred it and stir, give it a good stir with the softened cream cheese on top. And I eat mine with some chips and cheese. And everybody always really likes this. It's really good reheated. It's great on a cold day, especially when we're watching football. And so that was what I made for dinner that night. Hey you guys, I am in my kitchen. It's Monday night and I'm whipping up a really quick and easy dinner that my mother used to make all the time when we were growing up. She called this Ranch House Surprise, which is kind of a corny name, but it's great. It's only 5 ingredients. The way she made it was ground beef, Spanish rice, beans, a can of Rotel or diced tomatoes and green chilies, whatever brand you have, and then some shredded cheese. What I am using tonight is some ground beef. I browned this up last week whenever I made spaghetti, and I saved some of it for this recipe. I'm using some of the pinto beans that I made in the crock pot the other night, and I am using some Monterey Jack cheese and a can of Rotel. And then they did not have Spanish rice in my Aldi, so I got this beef flavored rice, which is like their brand of rice-a-roni. You can use lots of different things in this if you want to make substitutions. If you want to use ground turkey instead of ground beef, if you want to use black beans instead of pinto beans. My mom always used ranch style beans. You know, just about any kind of beans will work in this. She always used 1 can. You could double the beans if you want. You could use whatever kind of cheese you want. I have made Mexican cauliflower rice before to go in this. I will say that if you are using a plain rice or like just a plain riced cauliflower, you will probably want to add some seasonings to this, like maybe some chili powder and garlic salt, or some taco seasoning or something, because the only seasonings that are in this are what are in this box of rice. So my meat is already cooked, and if you want to make this, you'll have to brown your ground beef or your ground turkey, whatever you're using, and then I'm making the rice according to the box directions. And then I just throw everything together into a casserole dish, the beans, the Rotel, the meat, the rice, mix it up, top it with some cheese, and throw it into my oven at 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes, just until it bubbles and gets hot. And one of the reasons why everybody likes this so much is because there's lots of different ways that we can eat it. I like to eat it just plain, the way that it is, in the casserole dish. My husband likes to eat it on chips like nachos. My kids like to eat it in tortillas like tacos. Another great thing about it is that it reheats beautifully the next day if you have leftovers. So you can make, some breakfast tacos with this, throw some scrambled eggs in with it in a tortilla and have a breakfast. It reheats beautifully for lunch. So anyway, it's just one of those really super easy recipes that comes together very quickly. Like I said, only 5 ingredients. You can change the ingredients up a little bit according to your taste or your preferences. And it's just something that we all really like. Hey, you guys, it is Tuesday night, and it's actually the last night of meals for this grocery haul and meal plan. And part of the noise, I've got both the washer and the dryer going in the laundry room right next to the kitchen. I had planned to make some pancakes and some eggs because I had 2 boxes of pancake mix and a dozen eggs on hand in the house. And I think I had mentioned that during my grocery haul, that I just looked around to see what I could make a meal out of, and I had those things. But I am actually going to punt that to next week because we have a lot of leftovers that we need to use up in our fridge. And this happens, it seems like more weeks than it doesn't happen. It happens that I have, 1 or 2 helpings of a couple of the different dinners that I've made. We may have sandwich and salad fixings that didn't get used for lunches. Maybe we have a couple pieces of pizza from the takeout that we ordered over the weekend or something like that. And it just is a better use of our resources, and it actually saves us money in the long haul to go ahead and eat up those things that we have as leftovers. And I'll save the extra meal that I had planned for the following week's meal plan, or I'll make it up and I'll put it in the freezer for later on in the month. This does save us money in the long run because we're being good stewards and using up as much as we possibly can. Are we perfect? No, there are lots of times whenever I still have to throw something out because we just don't eat it or it goes bad before we can use it, but we try to do the best we can in those regards, and it does save us a little money in the long run. So I'm just going to get everything out that we need to use up. We're going to be leaving town in a few days anyway. The kids and I, my husband's going to stay behind. But we need to, kind of clean out the fridge and the pantry and use some stuff up. So I'm just going to get it all out and lay it out, and everybody can pick and choose what they want. And that is what we are going to do for dinner tonight. And that is going to wrap up this video. I'm going to get everything kind of uploaded into the computer and get this ready to show you guys my grocery haul and meal plan. But thanks so much for coming along. And I would appreciate it if you give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment. Let me know what's for dinner in your house. And I will check in with you guys again very soon with another grocery haul and what's for dinner video. Bye.